I'm like actually like a badass.
Yeah.
And people are looking up to me about it. Yeah. And I should be loud about it.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way you attract more work.
We tend to like shrink our wins to us and not call them what they are. Welcome to For Mannerless Women, a space committed to nurturing a new generation of shame-free women. I'm your host, Adelle Onyango. And in this episode, we're hanging out with Miss Mandi, the brains behind Miss Mandi Throwdown. We're going to be talking about how to give yourself grace on your journey of womanhood, how to rise above your mistakes, and most importantly, the power of sisterhood. All the mannerless or almost mannerless women. This is such an honor and it's such a treat to have you on the show.
Okay.
To be very honest.
Thank you so much.
Because when I think about For Mannerless Women, there's certain women who come to mind. I obviously have a Akothe there. Like, I aspire
to be
Every
Akothe.
time I'm faced with a situation, I'm like, what would Akothe do?
Okay.
And then I do it. But for women who are living genuinely, loudly, and are not reducing themselves, you're there.
Oh,
I think you've always
been there. Thank you. I think a lot of people, until you experience me, is when you fully know, like, this is Mandi, like, 24/7. Like, you're just getting the slightly diluted version.
Exactly,
Yes,
exactly. From when we started off in media.
Yes.
And to see what you've built is incredible, which we're going to get to in a bit. But I want to go to the big jump. That's where I want us to start. The jumping from media, from radio, into building your culinary empire that you're doing.
Still in the process of. It all started, I feel like, 2016 I had started, but now 2020 was really what shifted things for me. I remember I was already experiencing some pain points at my former employer, and I knew it was time to quit. I had already started to save up money, but interestingly enough, because I lived my life with so much intentionality, I had actually taken up Centonomy as a course, but I took it up because I had one of my homegirls who called me up and had a panic attack. She had left one of the classes and she was like, I think I'm selling beans. Oh. Like this is, what is this? I remember sitting there like, what triggered her so much in that class that I need to take up, because I can't just be aloof and be like, oh, I'm doing this food thing. You know what I mean? So I took up that class, and then COVID hits in the middle of me taking those classes. And now I'm stuck with everyone becoming food content creators. Everyone had access to sugar, to spices. Everyone was making banana cakes. You can just become a sensation overnight.
Yeah.
I seriously struggled during 2020. I was trying to figure out who I am. But the beautiful thing is, at that time, I was seeing someone, and I remember when I was quitting my job, I'd already created a runway for a year. He made me write all these things on the vision board. I remember being terrified saying them. I was like, I want to do spice blends. He's like, right. He's like, what else do you want to do? I was like, master classes, write it. Brand consultancy and restaurant consultancy, write it. I did not know how I was going to do them, but I knew I was saying them. And I love that when I look back now, I had a lot of fear.
Yeah.
So I write these things on the board, and slowly by slowly, I've now like been peeling back the layers, or rather even building on the stacks. Yeah. And 2020 for me was a year I will never ever forget. From that whiteboard that I made, that now people are telling me I need to post on LinkedIn. We have to do this thing.
Yeah.
To now where I am seeing it now, I'm like, wow, I've accomplished everything, and now it's time for a whole new whiteboard.
Exactly.
That whiteboard for me still is in my house. I have not wiped it off. I look at it like, wow, this girl had a dream, had a vision, and along the way, she's met people who have helped her open those doors. She's accessed funding to get to that goal. It's come at an expense of course, trending, people asking me why you're not upgrading like certain parts of your lifestyle. But I've been so driven towards this. I can feel it down to my bones. Like, I don't see anybody else doing it like me. And I think last year, now 2025, was now truly a defining year, or even 2024. I remember being dropped off by my friend Maureen Bandari, and she says to me, Mandi, you keep building restaurants, but nobody knows. It's just your phone that knows. You're always documenting it, putting, you're not a food content creator anymore.
Yes.
And I was just like, yeah, but why do they need to know? Like, it's just a behind the scenes thing. You know what I mean? She was like, no, this is such a big deal.
Exactly. Don't reduce it.
Exactly. Yeah. And I remember going into 2024, 25, when we've got our first, now 360 client, my sister said something powerful to me. She's like, listen, even if you're experiencing any pain points, you've been documenting so much that you need to start sitting down and now piecing the story together that you'll feed the audience. This is going to be the game changer for you. No one has ever viewed you this way. I don't even know any food content creator who builds restaurants, who has spices, who has all these things. And I just remember that day when I started to edit that content, that's when my mind really shifted. And I was like, I'm not playing how the young girls studied anymore.
Yes.
I'm actually a badass.
Yeah.
And people are looking loud about it. Yeah. And I should be loud about it.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way you attract more work. And you need to start realizing that you have a gift. And when you share this gift, you receive so much more. There's so many younger creators now who are now seeing that they can become more.
Exactly.
Before they never used to see it, I never used to see it. And 2025 for me, right before I went to Lusaka, was such a defining moment.
Yeah.
I remember saying, I'm going to Lusaka on a whim. But the person that I was going to meet in Lusaka, her name is Lulu, she made me feel like a superstar. I arrived there and she sends me a message. She's like, we'll send you a car and a makeup artist. I was like, I'm just coming onto your set. She's like, we'll send a car. So I documented that as there's a car being sent. There was looks that were planned. Her assistant was there. She took behind the scenes. Everything that I have done with building myself and MMTD, which is Miss Mandi Throwdown, has been with intentionality, quick, fast, and personality.
Yeah.
I feel like I've captured your question.
What I love is that first that your friend gave you the nudge. It's so nice to have a sister be like, no, do you not know? Because we tend to shrink our wins to us and not call them what they are. You know what I mean? So we wouldn't say, I'm consulting with restaurants and I'm helping build this restaurant, or I've curated their menu. We'll be like, yeah, I'm doing a consultants. You know what I mean? Ka-thing. And it's but that thing has a name.
Yeah.
Why are you not saying what it is, you know?
Exactly.
And it's so nice when you have women in your life, because my best friend has said that when she introduces me, she always used to say, oh, she runs a media conglomerate. And the first time she said it, I started giggling, and she later on told me, let me find you laughing again. And I was just like, okay, got
I love
it.
that. Yeah.
So it's so nice that your friend Maureen saw that and was like, you need to, or your sister. And what you've built is quite something.
Yeah.
You're pioneering.
Yeah.
You talked about on the way, the costs, right? And what I love about you is speaking up and talking about the mistakes, right? A lot of times in our journey of becoming and of building, we've not done this before, number one. This life thing first. Forget even work.
Okay, fair enough.
Just the life thing. I've never been here.
I just arrived.
I'm just trying to navigate, you know? But especially even with building and pursuing our passions, when we get a mistake or make a mistake, we think, oh, it means I'm not cut out for this. I need to shrink all the way back. What has been your relationship with mistakes and giving yourself grace and then growth?
I have to say it stems back to my childhood and my upbringing, even continuously. constantly hearing my dad say that human beings make mistakes has been so affirming as I keep getting older to allow room for mistakes, right? So even when I failed publicly or fell publicly, I don't want to say failed publicly, I fell publicly. He was one of the first people who called me, and he was just like, "Ini makosa njiani ukifanya hii kazi." You know, like, and this is your first time doing this. You know, we did it then, and we had traditional media. You're doing it now where everybody has access to magnify your mistake to whatever level that they want, right? And there's a lot of projection that happens. So I think just having great grounded parents has been such a great rock. And I also think my peers along the way have made me realize, like, we are building publicly, we are going to fail publicly, and as long as you own the mistake, you'll be fine. And lastly, for me, it's funny enough, there's that meme of that dog when things are burning.
Oh,
and it's like, yeah, it's fine. That is me.
When he's sitting in the middle of the fire.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, this is fine. Like
toasty, but
it's fine. Because I really think one thing I have accepted with just my career is that you're always going to be magnified. Yeah. Your mistake is going to... And yet that person who's calling you out probably has done even something way worse. It's just that they're not known. Yeah. But now, because you know that these things have repercussion, especially because you're a woman, you have to like navigate it better. Like your discernment has to be much higher, and you must be okay with being accountable, right? Yeah. So no one can shame me. By the way, I'm very okay with like... I even tell people... When someone comes to me and they say, "I heard you say," I was like, let me repeat exactly for you so that you don't think anything else. But that's truthfully who I am. I stand in my truth. I stand in my mistakes. And there's no shaming me. Like, you will not make me feel bad for making mistakes. And as long as you've owned that, it doesn't take away anything from me.
Grace goes such a long way, especially for yourself. Yes. And especially as a woman, because as you said, being held accountable for mistakes when you're in the public eye and you're building, it's not as clean as being held accountable. Misogyny finds its way inside there. So it's not an opportunity for you to take that and make permanent decisions about what you're building. Because it's full of so much, it's a mess. It is. There's also men there who are just like, get her again. You know, so I agree. You have to be very careful.
You do, but I've come to learn with being cautious, you just have tact. So, I mean, there was one thing you told me years ago where you're like, everywhere the comments are locked. Yeah, like you're not allowed in here. Even your own friends, even us, we have no access to her comments. Which I really love, by the way. If I need to get in touch with you, I would have to call you.
This is what I say.
You will have to call Adelle. So I took that when I started to like experience it publicly, and like especially the misogyny. You have no access to me. Like, there's restricted words. Shout out to all the apps now. There's restricted words.
You can mute.
I can mute you. Like, I can filter the comments. I can delete. I can approve. I have so much power now that changes everything. So it's kept me at peace. That's why I literally feel like that dog. Like, this is not the end of the world, you know? And the minute you move away from feeling like every mistake will be the end of the world, no. Now even more people are embracing like you owning your mistakes because we're humanizing people.
Exactly.
So,
you know, I turned off all my comments. I did it first with Twitter because that's where misogyny is like just too much. Because I remember there was once I posted a photo of my orange tree finally
bearing fruit.
And this man came insulting me and my orange, and I was just like, okay, so do you want some? Like, I was going
like, why are you mad?
So I just locked it. And then I did it on Instagram. And on Instagram, I did it also because I felt I was getting too attached to the validation. So like if I do something that's noteworthy and I post it. It's like I'm running to post it because I want to hear the applause. And I was just like, that's problematic. Let's turn it off so that we can hear ourselves. And social media became so fun.
Okay.
You know, I'm actively enjoying
social media.
I don't hear anything. I don't see any comments anywhere. It's incredible. So yeah.
The dog is also you.
I've been there.
No, seriously, because I like that validation thing as well.
Yeah.
I detached from that in 2022, 2023. One of my videos went viral.
Yeah.
It was about Matumbo. It went viral everywhere, like globally. And I just remember waking up one morning and I was like, I really don't feel like I need to hear all these opinions.
Yeah, why?
And also, I don't feel like I'm attracting the right audience. That for me has been my biggest differentiator. Like the minute you detach from saying you want all the audience, you actually just want a good quality audience.
Yeah.
I know this show is very targeted towards women, but Octopizzo says it best. You just need a good 1,000 people. Those 1,000 people will bring another good quality 1,000 people.
Yeah.
Instead of feeling like I want the whole table. No. The whole table.
Trust me, the whole table comes with its own demons.
You don't want that. So the sooner you unlearn that, you navigate the internet so much better. And you build so much better. You have a clear definition.
Yes.
And that's what's really helped me to know this is where I'm going. This is who my peers are. These are the people that I'm building with. This is how I unlearn and relearn. And
Yeah. Okay, so I want to go back to your family, right? Because when you talked about when you're navigating this mistake you'd made and there's all of this noise online that your dad calls you and tells you that it's okay and it just felt like a hug. You're outspoken, you know what you want, you communicate what you don't want. People get uncomfortable with it, I think because they don't know how to handle a woman who does that, you know? Because we're not brought up like that. Very many of us in our homes are, what's encouraged is shrink, don't speak, reduce. What was your upbringing like?
We even had this reminiscing moment with my cousins recently, and we were like, 10 out of 10, our childhood was fantastic. And the more I've been like building and like unpacking like my parents' business because of them being in the mushrooms, I now see where the real root of it was. It was our matriarch. Her name was Florence Mandi. She was the one who said, guys, I believe in you. I think this is the thing that's going to get us out of the hood. You guys doing this music thing, you have a thing. She's the one who invested in their first like set of equipment. She was the one who used to lead the train for people to dance. She's the one who would call out people and be like, Mikachini and my sons are doing this. So when I look back at my life, like she was our source of like encouragement and she passed on that to her kids. So you can only imagine growing up in a home where you're being told, you want to paint? Here are the supplies. You want to do this? Here is the thing. You will make mistakes, but keep trying, right? So my upbringing was very wholesome. I even say it to potential partners. I'm like, I grew up in a very loving home.
How could you?
I'm loved at home. You know what I mean? I could go back home. Let's go back. So I now see how growing up in that kind of environment has encouraged me to be the kind of person that I am, because you can only replicate what you saw.
Exactly.
Right? Or you can want to do better, of course. And that's what makes me so outspoken, right? I can only imagine being an artist back then, and you had to really fight, and you grew up all the way in like small town Kilifi, and you had to really penetrate the market. So I really take that energy as like, you have to be audacious in this life. You will be told no.
Yeah.
You will have pushback, but this is your life.
Yeah. And you have to speak up and defend yourself and your dream and your ambition. So you can't do that if you're shrinking.
You can't.
Yeah.
And you can't surround yourself with people who are going to also shrink it, right? Because finding out that my parents were now speaking about me to other people, they were like, yeah, you don't know our daughter? Like, she's such a big deal on YouTube. I was like, wow, they find this YouTube thing a big deal. Like, most parents would be like, she does that thing. They started to even talk about what I was doing as like a big deal, because they saw how much I was investing in it, right? I love that even my dad calls me sometimes now when we talk numbers, like goals, network expansion.
Exactly.
He's 73 right now, but those are the things we talk about. And that's the kind of energy you want to be around. I feel like if my grandmother was still around, she would also be pushing me to still go further. And I believe more creatives, or if you're going to want to be in the creative space, you need a baseline or a blueprint that pushes that. It could be a mentor, it could be your peer, it could be your parents as well.
Yeah.
So
this is so true, because recently I was telling my manager and friend that it occurred to me that the type of women a lot of misogynistic circles want me to be, I could never be because of the woman who raised me. And I was just like, it just hits me suddenly that my mom did like a topless magazine spread shoot for True Love, and I was just like, how many people can say that? She'd take me for like vagina monologues. She would be part of the cast, and I'm there sitting, and it's like, there's a chapter that's about like moaning and orgasms, and I'm just there as a teenager like, okay.
But it explains who you are right now, because that's what you were exposed to.
Yeah, so that, and for someone who didn't have what we had growing up, where do you think they can start to unshrink themselves?
Oh, definitely tapping into consuming more women that you already feel like are audacious. Yes. They're doing the thing that you want to do, and then try to be in those spaces. I think we really underestimate how little networking. You can literally be in the room at the right time, and a woman's like, oh, please, you asked for how much? I asked for triple that amount. And that's all you need. You need that spark. Because if you're not around that kind of spark, I promise you, you'll keep thinking your dreams are just small. You need to be in your small town. But now there's all this consumption of like us online. You know what I mean? You're seeing more women just navigating it better. Like I was telling you on the call, years ago, we didn't have anything like Galentine's. Now, whether you want to send me flowers or not.
That's a you problem.
That's a you problem. My homegirls at night. Like I saw a meme last night that said, oh, girls trip, let's get ready to give out our fake numbers. Like even the girls now know.
And that's how you get into character.
But you're around that energy. More women are winning. More women are putting you in spaces. And you're seeing more women audaciously speak. So why wouldn't it not be infectious?
I think so, because you have to be careful what you feed yourself.
Exactly,
right?
Yes.
Then it could either shrink or expand you. We're going to get to the sisterhood in a bit, because I really want us to unpack it a bit more. But in speaking up for yourself, let's bring in money, right? Because one thing I think is very important is that you just need to put money in women's hands. Like, let's not just talk about it, empowerment, independence. I'm like, yeah, but are you paying?
Yes. Like, where's the money?
For women, that's really at the foundation of like our independence, right? And so maybe you could speak to standing up for yourself in terms of how much you need to be financially compensated for your work, or if somebody wants to partner with your business. How did you navigate that? Because a lot of times we undersell ourselves as women, not only because of patriarchy, but also in our head, we believed everything and devalued ourselves.
So back in 2021, I think I had the complete shift after I worked with YouTube personally, part of YouTube Black. I mean, for the longest time, you would get an offer. Sometimes you try to negotiate, right? Until in 2021, 2022, I got this gig. But prior to that, YouTube had invited us out to Ghana. And Mandi, just being a yapper, like I met the head honchos, these ladies who are now running this like YouTube Black campaign. And it was the way they spoke to us and life into us. They were like, you guys deserve to be here. Each and every one of you, like you make exceptionally good content. We've selected you because of how great you carry yourselves, how you speak about yourselves. Like you deserve to be here. Any amount that we quote, if you want us to go a little bit higher, tell us how we can make you comfortable. And I found that to be so profound, because our creator economy for the most part started as like, oh, you're just a food blogger, now you're an influencer, then you're like, so you're just that marketer. But here are these execs who are just like, what else can we give you? How much dollars can we put into your account? And then they put us onto this campaign, and it was being managed by an agency in Kenya. And I just love that I submitted my rate to the work that they wanted. The agency was like, no, we're going to have to give you 50% less. I just wrote an email to like the YouTube exec. She got on a call and she was like, whatever Mandi asked for, give her exactly that.
We don't play those games.
And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
We're speaking, and she told me, Mandi, you are speaking from a place of value. Look at how much you keep investing in yourself. You keep going for courses. You keep doing so much for this brand, meaning you believe in it. Why would I now take the money underneath your rug? So for me, that has been the ultimate game changer. I even try and tell more women, like if we're on a campaign together, I'll start the small talk, like, how much are you getting paid for this campaign? And they'll be like, oh, I'm getting paid 20 whatever %. And I'm like, you should be getting this amount. Because I'm getting this amount. And they're like, how did you do it? And I'm like, you audaciously have to ask for it.
100%.
But they need to be taught to understand that what we do, we give value. If you've been in the industry for a couple of years.
I was going to say, how much you've amassed expertise for years.
Exactly.
Over a decade.
Ever since I quit my job, 2020, Xantonomy, 2021, another course, 2022, another course. Even right now, I'm in school right now. That means I'm not just giving you I can make you go viral. I can give you the formula of how you build the community, how you get the valuable customer, right? So these days when people are like, I love my favorite compliment, you're so expensive. Yes. Adjust the budget.
And if you can't,
it's
come
okay
back when you can.
Yes. Because you literally have to demand that for yourself. You know what I mean? And remember, can we curse on the show?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Someone yesterday told me, Mandi, this client, you gotta charge bitch tax. I was like, what's bitch tax?
I can almost guess what it is.
Just wahala.
It's hardship
allowance. So it's called bitch tax. I did not know that. But I found that to be so profound. I was like, yes. The reason why you demand what you demand. What a top paying client understands, if this job does not get completed in X amount of time, my company is bleeding X amount of money. But this person who has bitch tax.
Who doesn't get it.
You're just like, we gotta charge you 30% extra. So, and that was actually a man who told me that. So imagine
I love that.
A woman telling me this and then a man telling me that, because he was like, you're too valuable. Like, you are an asset to any person. And again, being around my peers who have really affirmed me has been a game changer for me. Game changer. That just means they don't just see me as a person. They see me as an asset.
Exactly.
Oh my God, yeah. So it's changed the way I price myself, value myself.
You know, as you're talking, I just got a memory. I don't know what year it was, but it was either 2020 or 2021. And there was a client that had approached me, and I think you were also on it, and the contract was terrible. And I remember having a call with you about which clauses we didn't like. Like, you, what do you think about this clause? Me, I think this one is problematic. Right? And it speaks to, like, you have to have those conversations, right? And intentional sisterhood, I think that's something that I'm hearing in your story as you're talking. Your friend is nudging you and telling you you need to put yourself out there, your sister as well. Tell me about how you've intentionally built a community of women who see you and empower you and, you know, hold you up.
So when I moved back home from Canada, I struggled. And I struggled because it was like everybody was friends with someone because they knew them from their last name. They went to high school together. They went to uni together. So here you are, you've come back home. You had your friends there, so you have to make new friends here. But then I was like, you got to be intentional with the friends that you want to make, right? And you're going to leave some along the way because your values don't align or they've just started to diverse. But the day that it really changed for me was the day I had like gathered up a couple of my friends. We went to Lamu. I was turning 27, so it was our first like friends trip. Because I told everyone, you guys, like, Lamu is healing. It's magical. Everyone was like, where's this place? They come. And a friend of mine took a video of my then partner pushing me or us jumping into the water. And then it erupted this whole conversation, like, who is she dating?
Oh,
blah,
damn.
blah, blah.
Okay.
But the next morning, I remember at breakfast, I sat everybody down and I was like, guys, I really enjoy everyone's company here. I don't enjoy sharing personal parts of my life. And I would like for us as ladies to make pacts. Our social media is not for our men. It is for our lives.
I mean, I really, truly believe in that.
If you heard Fununu, you not get it. It is not here. There's not even a soft launch you get. There's not even
no black and white arm.
I remember that was a very, very, I remember that conversation. I remember how my friends reacted back to it. There was no posting about it. And that started to define for me what my sisterhood was. Like, someone who's got you the whole entire way. When you ask, don't post this. Respect that. So now, as we kept building, everybody is growing at their own pace, right? But now we've become so cautious. When people now online are saying, oh, we don't see you hanging out anymore, you're not friends, but like, we were together last night, getting lit.
How much is even here, right?
Exactly. So we stopped being validated by like showcasing friendship online and actually being in the friendship. And along the way, I like to give people what I also like to receive. I like being a girl's girl, not a performative girl's girl, right? Because I love what even my friends say. They're like, hey, Mandi said her intuition told us something about that person. And you know Mandi's intuition. It's always right. So the sisterhood became a trusting place. And all the girls that I've built along the way, we're not besties all the time. Like you and I, right? I know if I called you for something specific, we would have that camaraderie and we would unpack it because I've demonstrated it to you before and you've demonstrated it back. So for me, the sisterhood now has become like a symphony. Like, these are my friends. They don't have to be here every time. But when I need them, because I've demonstrated I'm a good friend, they pour back into me 1,000%.
100%. Like, I decided I'm going to have to be, I am a girl's girl, but I was like, I want to intentionally create spaces for my favorite women. Like, and whatever opportunity, please come, guys. Let's be here. Let's sit. What do you want? What do you want for this year? You know, and every January I have a couple of my favorite women come home. And we start off just doing like karaoke, and some of them don't know each other because these ones I knew in primary school, then high school, and I'm like, let's all get together. And this January, we did a fire ceremony, and everybody wrote what they're leaving in 2025, and we burnt it, and what they're carrying. And we set deadlines. So one was end of January. I'm going to catch up this man by end of January. And like, end of January, I'm like, hey, it's 31st. Someone had end of February. But the fulfillment is unmatched. It's unmatched. I don't know if it's a 30s thing that brings a lot more intentionality and grounding. But when I'm with my group of women, I just feel so seen.
You really do, and also so cared for. You know, like, they would never put you in a certain light that... And it's not just social media, like, at any point. So even similar to what you've said in terms of, like, the hosting... I'm like the host with the most. Everyone knows, oh my God, Mandi is planning the itinerary. It is going to be delicious food. The views are going to be spectacular. So I've been very intentional with that. But I also saw it growing up. Like, my auntie recently passed on, but her best friend for 40 years came to the funeral.
Oh, wow.
And she was just like, the same way I became a widow, she came to my house, stayed with me for a week. I'm here for you guys for the week. I was just like, that is what sisterhood is.
Yes.
You know? Even like my mom, when she passed on, like all of her friends all rallied from across the world to show. I was just like, this is who I want to be. I'm a free bird. I have friends all over the world. But I really try my best to show up for them in the best way possible. You know what I mean? If I'm in your city, I've already told you weeks prior, we're blocking out some time, we're hanging out. Because life gets busy, but your friends...
And you have to be intentional to pour back in them, check up on them. And it feels good. It's not a chore. It feels good. So... As we wind up, what is your mannerless message for the woman who's watching?
Shame is not a ceiling. Like, they cannot create a ceiling for your mistakes. You know what I mean? Like, you're a human being. Sadly, you're a woman, but in a good way. You're a human being. You're gonna make mistakes. You cannot be living in the little bubble of shame. It has no ceiling. You are supposed to flourish. You're supposed to be accountable. You're supposed to be failing forward consistently. And that's what makes you human and beautiful. It's just like how Beyonce says, the flaws and all, that's where it's at. You know, beautiful women, perfect women, they get nothing. They get crumbs. It's all a show. Like, make mistakes loudly, boldly, do it. They can't stop you.
Yeah.
So that's what I would tell them.
This is incredible. And like, I'm beaming because I'm just like, Mandi.
But you've known me like this all your life.
No, but I'm just so proud.
Thank you so much.
Of what you're built and are building, and like that you haven't lost even 1% of who you are and who you've always been. You know what I mean? Like, you've not contorted to like what people want you to be, or you've not reduced who you are or changed. And that's a very difficult thing for a woman to do. So I'm like beaming. I'm just like, it's Mandi.
Actually, to even add it, I don't feel FOMO to be someone else. I just feel FOMO to be myself.
Yeah.
Like, and I really, really love that. And I find it powerful that you've said that, because you've known me for so many years.
Yeah.
To the point where if somebody said, Mandi spoke up in that meeting, be like, yeah, that
sounds like her.
What is like say? Yeah, that's definitely her.
Yeah.
So I'm so glad that I'm just continuously living my truth.
Yeah.
And you can see it. You can feel it. So
and we get to learn from it.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming on the
Asante.
show.
Oh my
It's been incredible having you. So much wisdom you've left us with, and I hope you've enjoyed it too. Make sure you share this with all the mannerless and almost mannerless women in your life, and subscribe so that you can not miss the next episode.